And yes, we are live. I would like to introduce my next speaker, and that's William with a company called Knowmad Digital Marketing. And we're going to talk about extending HubSpot into the enterprise. William, take it away.
Thank you, Natalie. I'm glad to be joining you today for the Power Up Your HubSpot Summit. William McKee, I'm a founding partner of Knowmad Digital Marketing. We're based in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're a platinum HubSpot partner, and next year will mark our 20th anniversary of helping businesses and organizations get the most from their web presence. Whether it's a website, an e-commerce storefront, or creating more traffic with SEO and PPC, our team has helped hundreds of clients create thousands of leads worth millions of dollars. And today, we're going to talk about how we can help extend HubSpot into your enterprise. So I'm going to get started with sharing my screen. Which is always a joy. Let's see if this will go full screen. Natalie, can you chime in and let me know if we're not seeing my screen here? Otherwise, I'm going to continue on.
Yes, we see your screen.
Thank you. So Knowmad became a partner with HubSpot about 10 years ago. It was actually in December of 2011. Since that time, we've worked with many companies, marketers, and sales professionals, helping them the most from their inbound programs. Initially, that was marketing, but that's grown to include sales, service, and now the HubSpot CMS. And these days, barely a week seems to go by that I'm not talking with a client, a colleague, or a prospect about integrations. The power of data is best realized when it's in the right hands at the right time. And now that we've had, for the past year, been dealing with COVID, really pushing the pace of digital adaptation within companies, this need has never been more present. And now collecting this data, putting it into a format that is actionable and getting it to the right people, it requires commitment, it requires investment. But it's easier than ever today, thanks to some of the tools and resources that are available. So we're going to talk for a few minutes about how you can use these integrations to extend your HubSpot further into the company to create outcomes for your team, your customers, as well as your organization. Now, as a digital marketer, no talk is going to be complete without numbers. And the one I want to share with you today is 120. But first, a little detour. We're going to take a trip over to the marketing technology landscape. Some of you may be familiar with this infographic. Our guest speaker at the beginning of the day, Scott Brinker, is the one who started this infographic. This is going to be the 10th year that Chief Martech has put this out. You can see kind of the timeline over the last decade of how this has progressed and the speed at which it's progressed well. So from 150 products back in 2011, and I know HubSpot was on that chart in 2011, to today, where it's, well, actually to last year, where it's 8,000, and I imagine any day now he'll be releasing his 2021 version of this, and we'll see another increase. So now that number 120, that's the average number of marketing tools that an enterprise is using. That's a lot of marketing tools. And while I can say that my agency is not using that many, we're definitely using more than we were 5 years ago, more than we were last year. And I know by the end of the year, we'll have added at least one more tool to the set. And that's because these tools are really useful things. It allows us to broadcast messages out to our followers through social media. It gives data to our sales teams and CRMs. It powers our CMSs and e-commerce stores. It gives us analytical information so we can make better data-driven decisions. There's tons of information coming out of the advertising that we do, events like this one that we host. It's on and on and on. All the places data is getting created and the tools that we have and need to do our jobs. So how do we get this data in the right hands at the right time? That's where data integration comes into play. I don't think these are going to be any surprise to you. What I put together is what I think of as my top 5 list of the benefits to data integration. The first 4 you're probably very familiar with. The 5th one, since I'm talking to marketers, bears some discussion. It's no surprise there's a bit of tension between IT and marketing. Marketing seems to want to push the envelope. IT's job is to protect the enterprise. These integration tools, if you get buy-in from the IT team, can free you and them up from having to get involved with every step of the way. So I hope that this gives you some ideas of how you can enroll your leadership team, enroll the IT team to help you get this data to the right place. So with that, let's dive into how you can integrate your systems through HubSpot. The first stop is going to be what I call the native integrations. And these are the integration apps available through the marketplace. The HubSpot marketplace was launched about 5 years ago, started with about 35 partners. Today, there's over 500 partners in this program. The categories of integrations is extensive. In fact, you'll see some overlap here with some of the tools HubSpot provides, such as chat and workflows and social inbox. The benefit here and what HubSpot has come to realize is that by giving marketers access to best of breed tools that lets us do our jobs most effectively, creates a better ecosystem for us all. So while it allows actually getting some of their competition into the ecosystem, it helps grow that whole space for all of us to do a better job. If you haven't gotten into the app marketplace yet, it's easy to find. It's in the navigation inside your portal. Navigate over into App Marketplace, and you'll land on a page that looks like this, where you can easily search. If you know the name of the app that you're looking for, you can search for it there. You can browse through some of the popular apps they highlight on the homepage. There's also an extensive list of tools to filter and browse through by category, by price, by who the builder was, by who the end user is, like is it for sales teams, is it for marketers, or customer service, or even by the hub itself, like Service Hub integrations. So there's a lot of ways to navigate through this large and growing marketplace that is HubSpot. One of the things that I recently used this marketplace was to find an app that I didn't even know was on the market. I knew there was tools to do this, but we have a client who has field sales reps and came to us to say, is there a way in HubSpot for my sales reps to create the most efficient route to visit 20 customers in their travels today? Or through the course of the week. And I went into the HubSpot app marketplace and sure enough found an app that can provide mapping tools for sales reps. We didn't end up actually implementing that tool just yet, but I didn't even know that was there until I got into the app marketplace. So as I mentioned, you can sort through this in a variety of different ways. I'm highlighting a couple of the features that you may want to dive into. These are some of the apps that are built by HubSpot. If you've integrated your Outlook and Gmail, Google Calendar to get the meeting scheduling tool, these integrations will likely be in place. There's 38 integrations here. So there's a good chance you already have tools that you're using. HubSpot is supporting with integrations that are worth exploring. You can also search through apps by categories. In this case, I'm in the marketing category and drill down into the subcategory of e-commerce. And this is listing the apps that are available here under that particular subcategory. Once you've identified an app you want to learn more about, you can click on it and it'll take you into its detail page. And on the detail page, you'll get videos, screenshots, more information about this particular app that you're looking at. And I'm using the DepositFix, our sponsors for the event today, to showcase their app. One of the things I look for when I'm choosing apps is HubSpot certified app. That just says it's been through a more rigorous tests with developers at HubSpot. The ratings, of course, and reviews. Total number of installations helps me know that this isn't, I'm not a guinea pig. There's a good number of users of this app. And then the requirements can inform you as to whether there are any specifications where you may need to pull IT in order to get this. In most cases, it is plug and play. In fact, there's the install app orange, HubSpot orange icon up in the top right to get started with it. And on each app, we're going to find a list of the integration features. This will tell you exactly what you're going to get with the integration between the app. Like what fields are coming in. Is it contact records or company records that are being updated? In this case with DepositFix, they're adding a couple of contact properties into your HubSpot portal. They're also extending the capability of the CRM tool with a payment system. And then their particular app integrates with workflows so that you can do automation with their tools. And then a well-documented app is going to actually show you how the data gets integrated into your HubSpot record. So this is the activity feed for our sample contact, John Wayne, which is clever, whoever just the marketer who built this. In this case, you can see that John submitted a form submission down there on July 12th. He was then put into a workflow activity, which then created a DepositFix event. And that event was a payment subscription. You see all the details of that event in here. Now, not every app is in the marketplace. HubSpot ecosystem, 500. MarTech apps, 8,000. That's a big number of apps that are not part of the ecosystem. And I was talking to a client just last week, and we were exploring this issue where they had a very customized CRM solution. It's commercial, but there wasn't a native app. So we went exploring out into what are called third-party integrations. And these are tools that essentially act as bridges that help you get your data from HubSpot through their connector out to a much larger universe of services. You've probably heard of some of these tools, Zapier, PySync, which actually got acquired by HubSpot last year. So it has some native support from HubSpot, Tray.io, and about 24 other service connectors that can help you when you run into the situation where there's not a native plugin available. So this, I don't even know if anybody knows the extent that this gets you out to, but it'll get you out to a lot more. There's a custom CRM solution specifically for the construction industry, and I came across Tray.io that provides an integration with HubSpot and that service. You will need to do a little bit more reading and exploration with these integrations to be sure it's a two-way sync. If you need two-way sync of the data, make sure it's getting the information that you need, whether it's for marketing purposes, sales purposes, pulling it back into some kind of ERP. You want to be sure that that integration pathway supports the data that you need to share between those services. All of these integrations are built on top of HubSpot's API. API is Application Programming Interface, big, long, fancy word to basically mean how one computer communicates or program communicates with another program. And it's through these APIs that developers are able to create these integrations. So the native integrations, the third-party integrations all talk through HubSpot's API. If you're in a company that is fortunate enough to have a development team that is able to work with API calls, that's an option. There's also partners in the HubSpot partner network who can support API development for you. And this is basically using functions to reach down at the object level of HubSpot. So it's talking to the contact records and to company records. It can touch workflows. It actually is a very extensive API system that HubSpot has built and made available to developers. You can learn more about it, or better yet, direct your developers to learn more about it at HubSpot's developers.hubspot.com. There's also online forums available for developers to go in and get support from each other for really getting specific with what you want to do inside of their ecosystem. Now, if the native API or the native integrations in the marketplace, the third-party integration tools and the API calls aren't quite enough for your company, there is one additional way to use HubSpot's platform to really extend the information that's being stored. Last year, HubSpot released a feature called custom objects. And custom objects are ways that you can really mold HubSpot to fit your business rather than try to fit your business to the default tools, the contacts, companies, tasks, workflows. So with custom objects, you can store any kind of data in HubSpot. It's basically creating your own table in HubSpot. And they give you a little bit of this with the HubDB, which is a great presentational tool. If you haven't dug into that, it's definitely worth taking a look at. We use it for product catalogs with several of our manufacturing clients. But HubDB is not the same as a custom object. It's standing on its own, whereas custom objects are going to feel more native. They'll integrate better with the system, and you can drive activities off of those custom objects. Besides storing the data inside of HubSpot, you can then utilize that to drive automated marketing emails for reporting purposes, for sales teams or marketing teams. Those custom objects can also be pulled into workflows. So this starts to really open the door up to HubSpot being more of a customer-centric platform of information so that organizations can better meet the needs of their customers. And if you think back to the flywheel approach that HubSpot is really pushing, and all of this is wrapping around the needs of the customer and how the organization touches the customer, custom objects are just another tool there to allow you to serve your customers.
William, we're right at our time, so if you could just...
Well, this is the last slide. This is the four pieces about extending HubSpot into the enterprise that we covered here today. I thank you for your time. Natalie, I imagine you'll have these slides available for later. If you want to reach out, here's my contact information.
William, appreciate it so much. Very dense information here. Definitely something that people should take a look at. And go Knowmad.com. I actually dropped the link here in the chat. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and do so. William, thank you so much. The recording is going to be available. So if you share your slides, I am going to use them and attach them as well. This was my pleasure, and chat with you again really soon.
Okay. Bye now.
Everyone, we are going to be joining our final session right now, so I'll see you there.